Hi, my name is Adri. Welcome to Dumb Summaries, all you AP World sufferers. Students. This summary covers changes in Europe from the 1500s to the 1800s, roughly. Anyways, let's jump in. We all like a bad boy in history, don't we? The one who challenges society, shakes his fist at authority, has a nose ring and an eyebrow piercing? That's how I like to imagine our boy Martin Luther, perhaps without the eyebrow piercing. He was exposed to Roman Catholicism, and at the time, the church was letting people to essentially pay their way into heaven with these things called indulgences. And their claim was that people would have to think about how moral their lives were, so it was like totally okay. But by that logic, Donald Trump could just pay to get into heaven. I don't know, but that doesn't appeal much to me. And it didn't appeal to Martin Luther either. He couldn't believe that they were pretending that they could do what only God could do. So he got kicked out. But he was still Christian in his own opinion, so screw what the Roman Church had to say. This caused an incredible amount of conflict because let's remember who the heck he's messing with. The Roman Catholic Church had both extreme religious and political power, and if you mess with this, crap is going to go down. So of course, it was messed with. Luther was able to spread the word because the printing press was hot and ready for printing. He had a lot of other problems with the church, but long story short, this is the birth of the Protestant religion. A change also happened in England, but that was because the king really didn't like his wife, and the Pope didn't allow him to get a divorce. So he got the heck out of that mess by leaving the Pope behind and doing whatever the heck he wanted. Honestly, if I was the wife in that situation, I would feel super lame. Your husband hates you so much he's willing to convert his whole land to a different form of Christianity just to get away from you? Ouch. In France and parts of Switzerland, another bad boy came about, but like a French one. This guy outlined all the details of Protestant Christianity in a nice little thing called the Institutes of the Christian Religion. He did most of his work in Switzerland, and not only were these people testing the status quo, stick to the stuff you know, but they were also missionaries and got people in places to convert, especially the places of the Netherlands and Scotland. Not too shabby. But the Catholic Church was all like, LOL, two can play at that game. Perhaps in a moment of desperation, perhaps in a moment of, this has nothing to do with the Protestants, so what are you even talking about? The Catholic Church underwent some reforms. They wanted their squad to be tighter, and clearly make a difference between them and the Protestants. So two things formed, the Council of Trent and the Society of Jesus. Why does the Society of Jesus sound like a bunch of suburban moms gathering, drinking wine, talking about the disturbing state of today's youth? I don't know. Oh yeah, the Council of Trent. These people were like, whoa, guys. A lot of the things we do suck. So here's what all this doctrine means, and let's start behaving like well-behaved citizens of the world, and not blatantly abusing our power. Okay, good. Now, the Society of Suburban Moms, Jesus, was about expanding Catholic influence. They were led by St. Ignatius Loyola, talk about igniting, and he made all of the Jesuits be educated and good at arguing, and they converted people in the Americas and Asia and whatnot. So yeah, good job. Oh my god. Can we please talk about witch hunting? I don't know why I'm asking you because I'm in charge, but okay, witches. Europeans basically believe that witches have evil powers, and we're doing the devil's work to have those powers. And went to something called the Witches' Sabbath, where they all gathered around and be evil and do stuff with the devil. The belief in witches really allowed the belief in an easy scapegoat. Oh no, we didn't have enough crops in our harvest? The dang witches. Or, oh no, look at that horrible fire. The dang witches. And this led to people killing a lot of supposed witches practicing witchcraft. That's the human race for you. All these differing beliefs in religion and whatnot caused a lot of conflict and religious wars, because nothing says Christian like brutally murdering other Christians. There were different arguments in different places, and altogether created the 30 Years' War, from 1618 to 1648. Hey, that is actually 30 years. Good job, historians. The battle started with the Holy Roman Emperors trying to boot out some Bohemians. Easy come, easy go, back to the Roman Catholic Church, and a lot of fighting in Germany. But eventually so many people got involved, it was a mess. Empires were starting to make a comeback, just like Justin Bieber. Actually, they tried to make empires a thing again, but they really just ended up making independent state. So really, as far as a comeback, they were more like when U2 put all their music on our phones. What was with that? The states were still cool, and they worked, starting with Charles V. Charles V was alright. He inherited a lot of lands as he was from the Habsburg family. He was rolling in land. He had land in Germany. He had land in Switzerland. He had land in Italy. He had land in Austria. He had land in Peru. What did he not have? Authority, which defeats the purpose of, everything. The bad boy, Lutheran movement, was causing problems. These stuck-up imperial princes were causing problems. He didn't have any sort of overall administrative structure, and France and the Ottoman Empire did not like him. So of course, all this said and done caused him to just give up, and he gave some land to his son, and his bro got the rest. Power was going to Spain, France, and England, because the new monarchs emerged. Yay for monarchy! In the recipe for power, though, you kinda need money. Both France and Spain put taxes on things, but England didn't want anyone to be mad about taxes, so they didn't. LOL, fast forward to the American Revolution. Instead, they put fees on royal services. They also got rid of church wealth and totally stopped talking to the Roman churches. Muy subtle. Okay, now we have power and we have religion helping power. Let's talk about the Spanish Inquisition, but in English. Basically, it was an act of, if you're not Catholic, you can't sit with us. So no Judaism or Islam or Protestant religions. If you were Protestant, you were getting dunked in the trash can, or in other words, burning at the stake. Talk about peace be with you. Inquisitors were in charge of taking out anyone who wasn't acting to the religious and political expectations of Spain. That's right, not even all the Catholics were safe. Not every state ruled so belligerently. Constitutional states were things too. Still too much to ask for them to actually write a constitution, but still, constitutional states. And it wasn't easy, but as a motivational speaker would say, nothing that is of great value is easy. England had just gone through a civil war, and the Netherlands had been struggling for independence. The English Civil War was basically a power struggle between Anglicans and Puritans and kings and parliaments. Much conflict ensued, yada yada, until the Glorious Revolution, where it was decided that the king and parliament must work together. Just like when you're cleaning up with Barney. The Dutch had issues with independence and Calvinist movements and whatnot, but LOL, who cares, because they managed to organize themselves properly. But there were some not-so-constitutional monarchies, the absolute monarchies. They were supposedly God's lieutenant upon earth, which I think is a load of hooey, but I guess that got them the job and the power. A super absolute monarchy was France. Basically, the king had lots of power because he was believed to have the divine right. A bureaucracy was created of commoners loyal to him, and Calvinists were attacked because they weren't all about that king. This was all designed by Cardinal Richelieu, important church guy. They had the Sun King, or King Louis the 14th. Ugh, I hate Roman numerals. Did he really deserve to be called the Sun King? I personally don't know, but he basically made life super great for nobles and told them to live in Versailles. And when you pay people to like you, it tends to work. In Mother Russia, the czars were in charge, like the Romanovs, which sound super Russian, so I'm pretty sure they were legit. And they expanded Russian boundaries, which was cool. Peter I was a czar, and was even called Peter the Great, so he's gotta be fantastic. Basically, he wanted to make Russia able to play with the big boys being those Western European powerhouses, like the mitochondria of the world. So he basically made Russians as European as possible, which was a little weird, but he got a better army and navy and administrative system and bureaucracy, and heck, yes, good job, Peter. He had a successor, Catherine II, or Catherine the Great. The Great. OMG, a female great? I am pumped. She worked with government and social reform until her social changes seemed to ignite problems. The rebellions were taken care of, but she just stuck to ruling instead of dramatic change like the rest of the successors did for a while. So, quick throwback to the 30 Years' War. That thing actually ended and European states came together and created the Peace of Westphalia, which sounds like the name that you would give the western part of Philadelphia. This thing basically said, look guys, we are all independent, we are going to compete, and it's going to be okay. Now of course, wars were constantly fought all the time, but at least they knew their standing in the world. Sketchy alliances formed, militaries grew more advanced, and life was cool and dandy. So guess what was birthed? Capitalism! Saying that in an Oprah voice is so much more fun. Yes, this beautiful economic system is created in this spot of history because private parties can manage their own business and sell and buy on free markets and cool. Effects of this nice new economic system: food from the Americas, less people dying, more people existing, and urbanization. Capitalism was worked on the basis and with the factors of a few different things, such as supply and demand. If you don't know how supply and demand works, please contact me. I will explain very slowly, as your 3rd grade teacher should have. Gosh, that was a little mean, Adrian. Calm down. Joint stock companies were a thing, too. Also, government support was there, which is kind of important because when people in charge of you let you do things, things are easier. Capitalism also helped empires happen because of trading posts, and so that's what we have imperialism for. Then, there was the putting out system. Nope, not even gonna make a joke. Okay, so putting out. That was where entrepreneurs went to the countryside for production. They gave these rural people the materials needed, and the rural peeps made the stuff. And they paid them a little bit of money, and it was cool. As economy changed, so did society. Like, these rural people were living better, so, they looked nicer and ate better and got drunker. It was a little concerning though, because people could get enough money to make their own choices, so not everyone was following this family tradition. One of those, "This isn't my dream, Dad, it's yours" movies. Even in Mother Russia, society was changing, and they treated their peasants like shit-taki, and only let them work as serfs. And of course, capitalism benefited from this because of cheap labor, which may be immoral, but most things are. Speaking of morals, capitalism was a challenge to morals because of individual greed was overshadowing the benefit of the larger community. Churches were trying to prevent such things, but that's hard because as long as people can make money, they're gonna keep doing it. But capitalism did favor nuclear families, which depended on more romantic entanglements than those of large extended families. Aw, I love love. The last part talks about enlightenment, something I think has to do with getting the perfect selfie? Anyways, this involved a lot of advancements in philosophy and science with people like Galileo Galilei, Isaac Newton, and Voltaire. One of the most important things was the transition from the universe revolves around us, and we actually revolve around the sun. This caused some conflict, but spoiler alert, the latter was right. Other advancement occurred with the people above and with the French intellectuals called philosophers, who approached the explanation of philosophy in a more artistic and approachable way. Deism was also a thing, where they were like, not too big on this whole Christianity thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure some creator person did make us, but then just kind of let us do whatever the heck we wanted. Overall, philosophy got a lot more positive, like the theory of progress, and relevant, with religious and political implications. I hope you do well in whatever you are cramming for. Bye!